Hello, this is Kara from Lady Kara Tarot. Today I'm trying a new layout. I'm using 3 decks, the Visconti Sforza Tarot, the Mystical Moments, and the Sublime Threshold Tarot. All of these I feel are quite deep, and to me these are esoteric decks without having necessarily the trappings of what we normally think of as esotericism. And I'm going to use the simply the mat layout that I have here for the cards. So I'm going to begin with home. Self. Career. And relationships. Well, that's interesting. All sorts. Wow. I did shuffle the deck. Okay. And communication. Unconscious. Spirituality. And health. I'm reading all of these upright, so the direction is just to make it a little easier for me to look at. Values, community, death, and creativity. Interesting, okay. Beginning with home, we have, oh, they weren't all swords. They were swords and wands. No, they were all wands. Were they? Yeah, they were all wands. Well, that's a lot better to start with. So we start with the 3 of Wands, a time to get started. Home. This is a great moment of feeling energized to move forward, that you've laid the groundwork and now you can start to do the projects and the things that you want to do. For communication, you have the Magician. You are in your element. The Magician is usually, you have all of the tools at your disposal and you know how to use them. Be careful, a warning with the Magician, typically, not necessarily this card, but typically the Magician can be a little immature. And having that facility of a young prodigy, but maybe not the nuance. What else do we have here to look at in this one? We have a magical wand, and again, a reference to the home here. I find that very interesting, since our focus on the home is this time to move forward. We have green pastures and really a lush water scene too here with the swan. Swans are fierce defenders of their home and their nest. They're very faithful. Our values, we have the 6 of Swords. Their values are telling you that there are times when you've given enough energy to something difficult and it's time to move forward. Because this card is talking about liminality, it's time to move forward to your more spiritual values. Self. We have exactly the same card, the 6 of Swords. Now, in this 6 of Swords, and these are swords. In this 6 of Swords, we have great stability. So in finding that place to move forward from your spirituality, this reinforces that you're also going to be finding a place of great stability. The unconscious is the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands could be yourself or someone else in your life. Someone else who's a youthful person or a person young in spirit who's perhaps a bit of a chatterbox. We have 3 different parrots in this picture. And someone who's really interested in exploring things. So again, this might be speaking to this element of the magician that is kind of young, how young people who are really excited about something kind of think that they know everything there is to know, but they may not have a very particularly deep understanding of the things. So again, I think this is a warning about, with your stability and you're moving into your more spiritual arenas, you want to be careful that you are not you're not in any way pretending to know more that you know. Just keep investigating, keep growing. Of course, this is something for all of us, but because this is in the house of the unconscious, we may be a little unconscious of the way that we are exploring, that perhaps we're exploring in a way that is not the most grounded way to explore. And so we need to be careful of that. Another page for community, the Page of Cups. And this would link into this. Be careful not to be enticed into arenas which are really not the best for you. The Page of Cups also very intelligent, eager to learn. One of the things that I heard about the pages which really resonates for me is the pages, no matter how capable, no matter how interested or interesting, pages often need guidance. And so even if this is something about yourself, don't just go off on your own. Seek the guidance of someone or something that you respect. In your career here, we have the 10 of Wands. We have a burden, a life burden, and you are literally in places you are worn out. You are literally worn out in places. And I think enough said. Try to hand off things where you can. Try to use this capability and this desire to move forward to figure out where you can share responsibilities. But even with this great feeling, you might be feeling a little stifled by all of your responsibilities too, but still, it's a tremendous place of growth. As with the home, another 10, 2 10s together. The 10 of Pentacles, that wonderful 10 of Pentacles in your spirituality. So in your values, we had a reminder of your spirituality. And here, the 10 of Pentacles, this real fruition of all the material goods that you can have in life are in your spiritual house. So how wonderful is that to have this tremendous, a physical blossoming that embodies your spiritual growth and manifestation. Death has the King of Cups. Interesting that it's an animist, because we often today interpret death as being a rebirth. And so here we have this King of Cups, this king of emotions, of overflowing, but also great mastery of his emotions. Unlike the magician, this is a mature mastery. This is a mastery born of wisdom, and he is looking towards... Is this another 10? Wow. He's looking towards the 10 of Swords. Interesting how these are pairing up 2 and 2 and 2. He's looking towards the Ten of Swords, the Death card, another Death card. Now that's in your relationships. So we have this we have movement here. So we're having this great movement of emotion and utter annihilation going on with your death and relationships. That this is, but here, and I think this is where these words matter, this animist, bringing new life through the ability to really just say goodbye to some things. I've certainly been through a period of going through that, being willing to just cut some ties that are not beneficial, and constantly evaluating where I can cut more, so that I can focus on these this spiritual self. Okay. In health, we have the Queen of Wands, creativity, and right next to the creativity, it's fascinating here. In health, we have the Queen of Wands, known for being highly individual and highly creative, and yet looking out for others. Here she has the peacock feathers. She has the tail of a peacock, but she's not displaying them. She has this. This is a kind of confidence of knowing you have this. You don't have to show it off all the time because you have it. And you have it right now. And this beautiful sunflower, one of the sunniest symbols of all the decks, in the health house. So that bodes very well for your health. And if someone were thinking, oh, the Death card and the Ten of Swords, that could be illness, that could be struggle. Well, it's not for you. Maybe there's someone in your life who's dealing with those things. But this is telling you it's not, if there is that element, it's not for you. You're doing well and you're quite stable. And then your creativity is flying. It's the Eight of Wands. You're having this tremendous outpouring of creativity. I do want to look up, because it says elegiac, which usually implies an elegy, as in at least a remembrance of something. I want to look that up in the book, because rooted in emotional depth of being human in the daily activities of time and space. Sensitive to what is overwhelming or transient, a kind of happy sad with beauty and melancholic silence or chaotic intensity. I also think of memento mori as something like that, that's kind of happy sad. Something we need to grapple with for a personal sense of peace. This personal sense of peace keeps coming up through this reading, which I think is a wonderful thing. Angelioforos is a messenger, a bearer of truth, may slide into your life, bringing blessings. Oh, and we have a quote. You know I love a quote. From The Travelers in Haste by Helena Maria Williams. Quote, "What haste to come? What haste to go? Unknowingly, half they wish to know." I'm sorry, let me start over because I botched a couple of those words. Quote, "What haste to come? What haste to go? Unknowing half they wish to know, delighted as they rush along, but not less eager to be gone." And I think it's important to add her sense here, these other sentences. The Eight of Wands is elegiac in the glorification of the message that is being delivered, bringing opportunities fully decked out in a flow state, the equivalent of what poets dream up in regards to living and dying, and thus full of inspired revelation. Whatever sublime offering is coming your way is gilded and will become your crowning glory. It is decked in floral garlands. She has extensive things about each card. I really adore this deck, Sublime Thresholds Tarot, but I think that wraps this up very well. We've seen that in this reading, we have this, it keeps coming back to the depth of your spiritual life and the vivacity of your spiritual life, and how your spirituality is in full bloom. And so coming back to the home with this, it's time to move. It's time to do what you need to do. Even though there are all of these burdens, and interesting that in this layout, the burdens are underneath everything. The burdens are there, underpinning everything else. But then everything else is about being prepared, being spiritually aware, being willing to move forward with a vivacity, and having the tools you need. This king and this queen, how wonderful. Having the tools you need to deal with and make any changes out of bad situations and bring an animation to them. I hope this is a pertinent reading for you today. I think this is a lovely and hopeful reading. It's bringing tears to my eyes of joy. And so it's like recognizing the difficulties that you're dealing with, and often even the stasis, but that you have this internal growth going that is giving you movement and life, even if you're feeling stuck. May that be true for you today. This is Cara from Lady Cara Tarot. Thank you.